Welcome to another episode of the Music Dictator Reviews with your host Dylan Scheid. Yeah, I bet as you can tell in the sound of my voice, this is not going to be a very happy video for me. So strap in tight and get ready for a rant about this year's Grammy Awards. This video, it isn't going to complain about the Grammys being too political, too social justice-y or whatever. It's going to talk about why the people at the Academy who vote on the Grammys and who decides who wins really know nothing about the musical landscape in today's day and age. Like, the only category I'm going to discuss here is, in fact, the Album of the Year winner, which happened to be 24 Karat Magic by Bruno Mars. And I'm going to be frank with you guys, I feel like this is the one album that was nominated for that category that had no business at all being in the same company as the other four. Now, if you guys could tell me if you listen to 444 by Jay-Z, Melodrama by Lorde, Damn by Kendrick Lamar, and Awaken My Love by Childish Gambino, if you listen to all of those and somehow think 24 Karat Magic is the best record out of those five, I would love to hear what you have to say about music in general as to why that was the best album released in the past year. Now, as it may not come as a surprise to y'all, but it really should have been no contest between the other four, which are up here, and Bruno Mars, which is down here. Like, all 24 Karat Magic had going for it. Now again, I'm going to say this. I like Bruno Mars. He's probably my favorite overall pop star in the sense of pop stars who are consistently making hit after hit. But if you listen, he only had really two big songs off of there. That's What I Like, and of course the title track. And the rest of it is just forgettable Michael Jackson, Prince wannabe tracks that really have no creativity, in my opinion, and just kind of blend in and don't really vary from each other. Like, let's look at Damn, for example. Now, we have Kendrick Lamar here, which, in my opinion, he's the greatest rapper of our time right now. He's my favorite rapper of all time, too. And just listen to his lyrics and the depth it has. Like, yeah, he raps about a lot of real subjects like love, regret, and looking at his life and what obstacles he's had to overcome to get where he has. And compare that to Bruno Mars here. He just sings about pretty much all three of his biggest songs are about partying. It has no depth and very little creativity, added to the fact where he's the only artist that was nominated for the Album of the Year where he didn't write his own music, somebody else wrote the lyrics for him. Now again, I'm not arguing against his Song or Record of the Year nominations. Like, those I'm okay with. Like, they picked two of his really good songs, one for each category, to win that, and I agree with that. But I'm arguing about the album category, where you have to look at the entire album as a whole. And these people had to actually look at it and decide, yeah, I think that's the best album of the five that we have here nominated. Then you got stuff like the experimental vibes that Awaken My Love by Childish Gambino had. Like, this is a guy who had two projects, The Woods and Because the Internet, his two albums, or LPs. And he was a rapper in most of his albums, and then you hear him come in with Awaken My Love here, and he gives an ode to the old 70s funk band Funkadelic, and learns that he has a brand new talent that we never knew about, where he can be a really effective soul and funk singer, and it was a really creepy and eerie vibe with that album too, and it just kind of blew my mind to hear that he could do it, and yet that album didn't win, and it just boggles me in a sense. And also look at 444 by Jay-Z. Jay-Z, I might add, is probably the greatest rapper of the early 2000s from Brooklyn, New York. And he pretty much came out of retirement, or well, he did a couple years ago, where he said he was going to stop making music, but then he came out to really make this really introspective and personal record that I honestly know he had in him about mainly dealing with the fact of how his family has been affected by him cheating recently on his wife Beyonce. It's just like the creativity, and then you have what I think was probably one of my favorite songs of the year, the story of OJ, where it wraps around a political landscape and how hey, he feels like that the African American community needs to do more to be successful. It's just, look, you're gonna hear me say this a lot. This is an unscripted video, but like, it boggles my mind that they won, like that he won over the rest of these. And look, even Melodrama by Lord, which I honestly think was gonna take the cake, especially since with the whole Me Too campaign going on and the really big emphasis on women's rights, especially with the marches. I feel like as the woman, I'm not taking it from the album, Melodrama is a fantastic album. I thought for sure that that was going to win the album of the year, and I'd be okay with that, because here you have a woman who went ahead and every single track of the album she worked hard on to make sure it was perfect. Hey, it was her first album in I think 5 years, and she came back in a big way, just grandiose album, again, just, and that had a lot of depth to it, and you can honestly see, like, remember how back when Pure Heroine was released, ever since then you've had an influx of artists who were copycats of her with her voice, and that album proved that she was on top of the game in that category. Hey, let's even look at the performances from the night. Three of the artists nominated for Album of the Year performed, and it was Kendrick, Childish Gambino, and Bruno Mars. Kendrick and Childish Gambino both put in really powerful performances that came across like they were talented and had huge stage presence. While given Bruno Mars, he just came in for the doing his song "Finesse" with Cardi B. He like kind of phoned it in there, like he kind of had like that swagger that he usually has when he's performing, but there was nothing to that performance. It was just a party song. It's made me think that even though he's a really good, I like his songs, or at least his big hits, he just isn't on the same level of creativity and artistry as the other four exemplified in their albums. Now, granted, I know 24 Karat Magic was probably the safe pick, but honest to God, I don't get why we need safe picks in the world these days. I know people get offended by all sorts of stuff between discussing politics and all that, but politics are a medium that need to be addressed within music. Some of the greatest songs of all time have been political, like "Fortunate Son" by John Fogerty, and you have "Eve of Destruction" by Mary Guire. Two fantastic songs back from the '60s, and everybody loved them, even though they had a high political context like Jay-Z and Kendrick had on their albums this year. And it's just, when you hear enough songs about partying and girls and stuff, and that becomes the album that you choose to forever signify a whole year 2017, which was much more than that, I don't understand. Like, somebody at the Academy needs to get their head out of their butt and realize, hey, we need to look at what's going on in the world today and see what of all this best exemplifies what we want to tie together with that year based on the music that was released. Now, I'm not saying we should take away the award from Bruno Mars. He really earned it. I'll give him props to that. Somebody needs to get their head out of their butt over at the Grammys, because honestly, I can't deal with it anymore. Well, anyway, I'm a music dictator, and what I say goes. For me, at least. And certainly not the Academy at the Grammy Awards.